Alright, just a heads up. I don't know how to pronounce anything, and I'm not going to look up how to pronounce these words because it's more fun that way. Today we're listening to Sigur Rós. I don't speak Iceland. This comes from a recommendation, I believe, so thank you for that. This is the second kind of post-rock album I think I'm diving into. I think it's post-rock, but either way, I'm very interested in it. If you have any other recommendations regarding this album or anything else in that kind of sort of atmosphere, feel free to leave them in the comments. I think we're nearing on 500 subscribers, I believe, so thank you so much for that. Thank you for supporting the channel, liking the videos, doing whatever you do. It really does mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's get right into it. Since I don't know any of the lyrics here, it's gonna be hard for me to dissect what each song is about. I'm gonna try my best though. Okay, track number 1 of Ágætis byrjun is intro. Relatively short song here. Why isn't the audio playing? Oh, because I don't have the headphones plugged in. That's why. Something is in reverse. I can tell you that much. Or maybe that's just the language. Sounds like we're in like space right now. Like we're in like a spaceship. And it's empty. That was a good lead-in. I'm gonna pause it now though, so I can talk about the. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but this kind of looks like the alien baby. The cover art does look like an alien fetus kind of thing going on. So maybe this is a kind of a space alien fetus kind of album. An album about an alien fetus. Yeah, that's the first song. That was a cool little intro, I guess. But like the second song is like 10 minutes. I mean, you may as well add the intro to the second song and just call it a day. You know what I mean? The song is already long. It's not gonna. All right, track number 2 is svefn-g-englar. This is cool. Kind of like an ambient vibe. Nice, light little drums with a guitar in the back. It's nice. Can I make this louder? God. This is fantastic. Sounds like a baby crying. It's kind of like static here. A little heartbeat. A heart's not supposed to beat that fast.
Ágætis byrjun.
Yeah, I butchered that. Album title translates to good start. And if we're talking about starts, we're talking about, I think, being born here as a kind of start here. So a good start to being born. And that track did translate to Sleeping Angel, which reading these lyrics, I'm back inside of you, it's so nice to be here, it's just a quick stop, I fly around in the underwater. I feel like he's talking from a point of a fetus perspective. In the second verse he says, I burst out in the pieces in the air, bathed in new light, I cry and I cry. So he's clearly a baby. I certainly feel reborn after listening to that. That was honestly one of the best songs I've ever heard. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Track 3 is Staralufur. Oh my. This is insane. The arpeggio here. And I'm not built for this. That was a change of pace. We're back. What is happening? I'm gonna start crying on camera right now. This guitar makes so much more sense now. The first track kind of ended a little bit like this too. Kind of just fades out into feedback. Wow. That track was translated into Staring Elf. I was reading the lyrics as he was singing it. And I don't know what he means by staring elf. He does mention it a few times throughout the lyrics, and it sounds like he's singing from a perspective of a little boy. He talks about blue pajamas, jumping into bed, embracing the soft covers over his eyes. It sounds like a horror movie. It says a little elf stares at me, runs towards me, but doesn't move. Like, what? It's obviously moving if it's running towards you. What is this? The Christmas elf? The what elf is the elf on the shelf? No, but wow. I mean, sonically, this is hitting me in the G spot, you know what I mean? It sounds as if, like, I'm underwater, you know? But I'm breathing, and I'm just floating. Track number 4. Alright, this is a challenge. Flugereslarsen. This is amazing. I've never wanted to be Icelandic so bad. What a whimper to end on. Oh, and that's how the next track starts. Okay, that's kind of cool. That track was about saving flies. I never knew it could be so emotional. Flies savior. When you think of a fly, you think of something that's constantly like running away from you. You know, you can't really catch a fly, even if you want to, even if you cause it no harm. It's hard for you to catch a fly. And the way he was talking about mostly everything is just that he couldn't save most of the flies. I thought that was amazing though. I mean, when he really got full stride. Track 5 is Nigh Battery. And kind of a eerie way to start it. Sounds like a little orchestra. Oh, that bass line is hitting me, dude. Oh, this is amazing, dude. This is beautiful. It's like somber, dude. Damn. cannot do that. I love this drum pattern. That quite literally might have been my favorite song yet. That hit me. Whoa. Not gonna lie, I already bought the CD. Title stands for New Battery. That's what it translates to. And saying lines such as, barbed wire stapled into my bleeding mouth, locked in cage, naked animals beat me, a savior knocks, and untamed sets new batteries. I'm getting the kind of vibe here that he's putting himself in in a wild animal in a zoo position. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of just the message that I'm kind of getting. But yeah, that song was wow. Okay, track number 6 is Hajjar Tau Hamast. Bam Bam Bam. Little harmonica. Bro, the guitar in the back with the distortion, bro. Relax. Well, I can't do this anymore, bro. The violin in the back? Turn that up! I was reading the English translation, and even in the English translation, he kind of talks, kind of a self-reflection kind of song. He says lyrics such as, system failure, I continue to search, uncontrollable, I have to feed, speak out loud and travel inside myself, searching. He kind of talks a little bit more as to, I guess, his life being sort of like a computer. A few tracks before was about batteries and how they put a new battery inside of him. Get a pacemaker for, find a start cable, like a lot of technology terms happening in this track too. That analysis probably is way off, but that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. Another amazing song. They haven't missed. They have not missed yet. All right, track 7. Bear with me on this one. This is gonna be tough. Okay, Viel rar vel till loft arasa. Yep. Okay, this is terrifying. This is terrifying. It's a quiet little piano in the back. This is... Yes. Yes. Well, are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? His vocals are drenched in like a light distortion. This is so emotionally draining. These drums wrapping up, dude. It's ending in like chaos too. So the translation of that title was "Good Weather for Airstrikes." So just reading the lyrics here, very sad, melancholic song. It really did feel like we were building towards an explosion there, like the end of the world kind of a song. The track felt like a cycle of behavior. He says, "Falling down, I will let myself forward, and somehow I will always come down again in the same place." So I don't know what an airstrike is in this case. I don't know if we're referring to actual airstrikes or some metaphorical kind of airstrike. But all I know is that sounded beautiful. Yeah, the late night drive playlist just got a lot better off this album. Track 8, I believe, is an instrumental. It's Olsen Olsen. I think I'm pronouncing that one right. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. I already know it. That bass line. This is heavenly, dude. I feel like I'm being ascended right now. Not the flute. Not the flute. And the little choir in the back. And the way it just faded out too. That was perfect. That was a perfect song. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the lyrics on here. Or on the website I'm using for the translations, but just speaking on the music alone, that was just felt like a movie ending. I mean, every song in here has felt like the ending of its own movie, like its own part of life. You know, it's like every song here feels like a life lesson. Not much else to say there. This music is actually leaving me kind of speechless. Track number 9 is the title track. Is that moaning? This album is making me feel like Dreamy Bull right now. Him and I think I'm gonna say a significant other. It's a guess. It could be just a friend going through downtown, having fun, having food, meeting friends, and then later on in the track, there are some lyrics that I'm gonna take as sexual because I'm gonna assume that this is about a significant other. I could be wrong, and then they kind of depart, towards the end, but not entirely. It was such a consistent song all the way through, and it really had me entranced. I was locked in the whole time. I didn't think I said a word while I was listening to it. Track 10 is Avalon. Surprisingly, the second shortest song in the album at 4 minutes. Just complete desolation. But yeah, that was beautiful. That was just filled with so much sorrow. Definitely didn't sound like a good ending. It could have been. I'd have to listen to this album more to really build a relationship with it. Wow. I'm being kind of serious when I say that this was probably my favorite album I've reacted to on this channel so far. It just really hit emotionally with me. For an album that's an hour and 10 minutes usually, at any point with any artist, I can't think of a single artist off the top of my head that I would listen to an album an hour and 10 minutes and be completely engulfed by all the way through. You know, I have some favorite artists, but surely they would have at least a few misses or a few moments where I didn't really like on an hour and 10 minutes, but this was insane. I really wish I was Icelandic now. I definitely want to check out some more of their work. That was crazy. Think of an overall theme of this album, but I truly do not know. I'm just trying to... I think a very broad could just be about overall life, because it kind of seemed like we went through stages of growing up throughout this album. Each song on here just felt like a new long chapter of life, which kind of corresponds with why I think these songs are so long as well. But yeah, that's the album. I really did love it. I'm gonna go back to most of the songs on here. There's not a single song on here that I didn't like. And yeah, if you want to react to anything else, drop into the comments as always. Thank you for the recent support. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.